Hi class, Mrs. Calvi again. Okay, this is the third worksheet for today's assignment. You are graphing a line again, but if you notice here, they're giving you an equation. So this is problem number 1. They're giving you the equation and you need to graph it. But in order for us to graph this, it needs to be in slope-intercept form, which it is not. So remember, to the right here, I have slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. So I need to convert 3y minus 15 is equal to negative 6x into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to add the 15 to bring it to the other side. These 15s will cancel. I will now have 3y is equal to negative 6x plus 15. Now, it's in slope-intercept form, but the problem is my y needs to be a 1, and it is currently a 3. So I need to divide all of my numbers by 3 in order for that y to become a 1. So I'm going to divide all of my numbers by 3. These 3 cancel, and my y is finally a 1y, which is what I want. So now I have a negative 6 divided by 3. That's going to give me a negative 2. Drop down my x. A positive 15 divided by 3 is going to give me a positive 5. So now my equation is in slope-intercept form, and we can go ahead and graph. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 5. So let's write that up here. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot my y-intercept. My y-intercept is positive 5, so 0, 5 will be my first point that I'm going to be plotting. I will then use my rise and run to plot my second point. Now, if you notice, my coordinate plane that I'm using is going by ones. Sometimes go formative, if you zoom in, it'll give it to you by 1. So just make sure you're looking at your graph carefully, your coordinate plane. So 0, 5, I'm starting at my origin. My first number 0 tells me to go left or right. Well, I'm going to stay at 0. 5 tells me to go up because it's at positive 5. I'm going to plot a point. Now using my rise and run, it's a negative 2. So remember, I always say the negative gets associated with your numerator. So from my 0, 5, I'm going to go down 2 units. And I always run right 1 unit. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Now, if I want more points up here, this is the only time I do the opposite, and I'm starting from that top point, right? So I'm going from my y-intercept point. That's where I'm going to start from to do just the opposite. So I'm going to go up to left 1, up to left 1, and that gets me a lot more points. It just makes my line a lot more accurate. All right, so just make sure when you are graphing, just look at your graph to see if they're going by 1s, by 2s, by 5s, so you are graphing correctly. I've noticed that with Go Formative, if you zoom in and zoom out, it does change the increments of your graph. Okay, so this was the first one. Now let's try one more. Okay, this is the second one on the third worksheet. So again, they gave us an equation to graph. We need to first get it into slope-intercept form. Well, slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. My x needs to be on the right side, so I need to move that over. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Because I have a negative 5x, I'm going to add 5x to bring it to the other side of my equal sign. These will cancel. I'll be left with 6y is equal to 5x, and because my 12 is positive, I'm going to put plus 12. Well, we're getting there, but we still have a 6 with our y, and we need that to be a 1. So in order to make that a 1, we need to divide all the numbers by 6. All the numbers by 6. Okay? Now let's just say I didn't have a 5x here and it was just x. That's where I would put that 1 in to make it so my 6 is under a number and not under my x. So here, these 6's cancel. I get y is equal to, I cannot simplify 5 over 6, so that's going to stay. Drop down my x. I can simplify 12 over 6. 12 divided by 6 gives me a positive 2. So now this is the equation I'm going to be graphing. Y is equal to 5/6x plus 2. So y is equal to 5/6x plus 2. So I'm going to plot my y-intercept first. It's a positive 2, so that's going to be 0.02. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my origin. My x is at 0, so I'm staying at 0, and I'm going to go up to a positive 2, plot a point. Now I'm using my rise and my run. My 5 is positive, so that's going to tell me to go up 5, and I'm always running right, so I'm going to be running right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Run right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I wanted another point, up 5, right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I wanted another point down here from my y-intercept, I'm going to go do the opposite. Down 5, left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plot another point. Okay. Another thing I forgot to mention earlier, remember, after you graph or plot your points, this line, if I were to actually draw the line, it would be going this direction. Scanning my coordinate plane from left to right, this is going up to the right. So this is a positive slope. Well, it's telling me my 5, 6 is positive. So this is correct. That's a quick double check. So if you had your line as a negative slope and yet your slope is supposed to be positive, that would be a red flag. So make sure you're doing that double check. All right. And I will talk to you soon.